Good afternoon, folks. This is Deb and Dave, and this is the Factivist Report. We are calling this one Donald Trump's alpha male sideshow.
While we are in a government shutdown. And I want to make this point perfectly clear. Not only is this fascism, let's just be blatant about it. This is fascism. Using the military in this way is fascism to try to intimidate people and all of that. But it's highly inefficient as well. Highly inefficient. And when Trump and his minions are talking about trying to curb government waste, you see him wasting money left and right in his actions with the military through the parade and through the Charlie, whatever they donated to the Charlie Kirk memoriam, whatever it was, all of these things are adding up. So remember, when you start talking about the Democrats and how they waste money and how the by the way, the shutdown is not their fault. We had to take a stand somewhere when you're raising insurance premiums, what, 75%? I heard.
75%. Yep.
Yeah. So you got to take a stand somewhere. So, but the way that Trump is using the military is like a child wielding a giant bat, and he's a bully.
Let me
I mean,
just say one thing overall about the shutdown, okay?
yeah,
So that everybody understands. Donald Trump owns the House, the Senate, and the White House. This shutdown is entirely on them, okay?
yeah,
It's as simple as that. The Republican Party as a whole could stop Donald Trump dead in his tracks. Right now, they could stop everything that's happening in America. They own the House, the Senate. They could stop Donald Trump. He is clearly out of his mind. He is clearly unfit for the presidency. His cognitive decline can no longer be denied. All it would take is the courage to invoke the 25th Amendment. And yes, we would still be stuck with the Republican Party, okay? But at least this fucking snake would be gone.
right. And make no mistake that if and when Trump leaves, we still have to deal with J.D. Vance, Russell Vogt, Stephen Miller, all those guys.
Yeah, you know what that's
Know
called?
that.
That's called the midterms, okay? You want
Right.
to stop all of this? You want to stop all of this? You want to make the Republicans a 2-year regime? Then you vote for the Democrats in the midterms. There's no other solution to this, okay? This is it, folks, all right? This was it in November of 2024. You missed the fucking memo, okay? Now is the time.
So I know everybody's talking about this, but we're going to talk about it. The Hegseth speech to the military leaders and Trump's speech to the military leaders. Yes, there was misogyny in it. Yes,
No shit.
there was an attack on pretty much everything, and there was an attack on free speech, the right to assemble. You know, Trump is talking about purging the opposition,
That would
fascism,
be anyone who doesn't agree with him.
anyone on anything. Understand that. This isn't about the lefty woke either. Hegseth just fired a Navy general over over something. I don't even know what it was, but they reinstated Ronnie Jackson,
As a rear
his
admiral.
as a rear admiral after he
After he was demoted for running a drug
from
operation
a pill
from
mill.
inside the White House. After he was demoted because a general oversight committee found out that he was giving out pills, uppers and downers, to all of the White House staff while they traveled, including the President of the United States. Okay, understand that. And the president of the United States at the time was Donald Trump. End of story.
Now, the point of this article is not only is it fascism, not only did the generals not appreciate it, Donald Trump interrupted these generals, told them all to go to Quantico. Some of them were in Indonesia, China, India, Russia, whatever. They all had to come to Quantico to hear this, the war on woke. Okay. And also, which I will talk about, Trump talking about Canada as the 51st state. Okay. Now,
Guy's a sick
here,
twist. He really is.
here, here is the point. Not only is this fascism, it's highly inefficient and it's highly costly. How much money did they spend just bringing these generals to that meeting and back? And you disrupted military operations that were already in place. Trump doesn't care about that. Trump only cares about Trump and having a big show of military power, which, by the way, the generals not only didn't appreciate it, there was concern among the generals and they're talking. Just so you know.
Because he's out of his mind. That's why.
Yes.
And by the way, these generals have given years of their lives to the American military and to the country, and they report to a man who was a weekend news anchor for Fox. I don't give a shit if he served somewhere. Okay?
Right.
I don't. I don't think any of you understand what it takes to become a Secretary of Defense. But this isn't one right here, this loser.
And this retired general said exactly that. They're talking about, building up the military. And he said, where do these people think this money is going to come from? Especially when they do things like this and take people and waste money just to show, just to show their power.
Just to show their white male dominance is really
right.
What this is about. It's disgusting.
Here's one other thing. Trump calls for using U.S. cities as a training ground. Basically, what he's doing is trying to intimidate blue cities. He's already violated the Posse Comitatus Act, which we'll talk about in a minute, which basically states he cannot use the military to control U.S. cities.
And this is perfect to have Pete Hegseth as the head Secretary of Defense, because he's got his head so far up Trump's ass he can't even see daylight anymore. Whatever Donnie wants, Donnie gets from this guy.
The enemy from within. That's anybody who disagrees with him, by the way. But here he's talking about woke culture, and he's also talking about immigrants who are the bane of our existence, according to him. Remember this.
Now, he's the bane of our existence, actually.
Someone actually mentioned this to me. Remember, back in Nazi Germany, Hitler blamed crime on the Jews. Okay, and said they were the problem. Do you see a parallel here? I see a parallel. And people are calling ICE the Gestapo.
It is. And Donald Trump is Hitler. I don't care what you say. No one wants to hear it. Oh, you can't say that about him. Yeah, I can. I just did.
Okay. This is the reversal of Jackson's
Dr. Ambien. Dr.
Right.
Ambien, one of my least favorite people, drawing a breath. Ronnie Jackson.
And then this is someone that Trump actually appointed. Hegseth fired him. For what cause, I don't know. Probably, criticizing a policy or something. So Hegseth fired John Harrison, who had amassed more influence than his predecessors and introduced significant changes. Okay, there we go. Significant changes at the Pentagon, including seeking to limit the influence of the undersecretary. So there you go. They didn't want that, so he's gone. As opposed to a pill mill director, and they gave him his everything back. So this is the Posse Comitatus Act. Limits military deployment in cities. Okay. The Posse Comitatus Act is often mentioned as a constraint on presidential power and limitation of the military to operate on American soil. Okay, it was passed into law, signed into law in 1878, removed the U.S. military from regular and civil law enforcement. Okay. Whoever, except in cases of under circumstances expressly authorized by the Constitution or Act of Congress, willfully uses any part of the Navy, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, or Space Force as a posse comitatus or otherwise to execute laws shall be fined under the title or imprisoned in not more than 2 years of both.
It doesn't matter. Donald Trump doesn't go to jail.
No. And a judge just halted the use or ordered it to be halted, the use of the National Guard in Portland. Trump doesn't care. He sent him. He defied that order already. Black Hawk helicopters were used on a raid in Chicago on alleged Trinidad members. Now, this is the south side of Chicago. Okay. It is known for crime. It is. However, this these articles show that there was one credible lead on one person. You're putting Black Hawk helicopters out there. You're bringing in ICE agents. You're arresting dozens of people. You're detaining kids for one guy. Okay, if you know how to do your job, there's a better way to do this than to terrorize people that you have no evidence has done anything. Real quick, the operation cost of a Black Hawk helicopter ranges from $2,000 to $4,000. Okay, I'm sure that includes the pilot, the maintenance of the equipment, and on top of that, obviously the fuel.
To
The
catch one
total
person,
to catch one person.
they're pretty bad at their job, honestly.
Right.
They
Right.
really are.
And they didn't have just one. I heard there were multiple Black Hawk helicopters
Because
out
the
there.
more they can flex their fucking white muscle, the better the only
Right.
muscle they have is the one between their freaking shoulders.
So the annual operating cost for that type of helicopter is between 1.5 and 1.8 million dollars. Show me a use for this other than to terrorize people in Chicago, where I lived, by the way. This is an article from an outfit called Just Security. I'm just going to put it out there. The mounting crisis of militarizing immigration enforcement. Okay. Donald Trump has thrown gobs of money at immigration and customs enforcement right now. And at some point, we're going to have to balance it out. We are not saying that immigration enforcement isn't needed.
We're going to balance what out? All we're going to do is add to the deficit. We're good. He's okay with that.
Yeah. But I'm saying
Let the American
yeah,
taxpayers bear the burden. He doesn't give a shit.
but he's talking about, fiscal irresponsibility, the amount of money
We can stuff it.
sent to ICE was the budget of some country's military. Okay, stop. So here we go into the use of military force with no due process, no evidence, nothing to show Congress, who is showing concern over these attacks on these boats in international waters.
Who's showing concern in Congress besides the Democrats? Anybody on the Republican?
No, I'm saying the Democrats. I'm saying the Democrats.
Okay, because the Republicans can fucking stop this. They could stop all of this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's bullshit. All right. The Republican Party is fascist. End of story. And the ones who are, whining publicly, like Lisa Murkowski and all of that, they're not fascists. They're cowards. So that's what you've got on the other side of the aisle. Fascists and cowards who enable fascists. That's what you've got.
So this next article, Donald Trump is waging war. I don't know why this is doing this, but Donald Trump is waging war on the Caribbean for their drug trade. Show us the evidence.
All right, hold on. To show you any evidence.
No, they're not going to show us evidence.
There's no evidence. They don't have any
crap.
Evidence.
Hold on.
This is, I'm sorry, it's murder on the high seas. End of story. This is not a legitimate military operation. This is murder on the high seas. This is an act of war. Okay, it's an act of war. And at some point, and honestly, I hope it does. It's going to come back and bite us in the ass.
It needs to. And again, Pete Hegseth, okay, he already got in trouble with Signalgate. He is announcing military operations on Twitter, also known as X, and showing a picture of them blowing up a boat.
And by the way, did you notice the new title? It's the Secretary of War. It's not the Secretary of Defense anymore. Right. And let me explain something to you. Now the Secretary of War, coming from a man who claims, a president who claims to have ended 9 wars, some of which he wasn't even in office when they were going on. Okay? The man is unfit. He's demented. Okay? 25th Amendment material.
This is the start. Okay? He's already shot down 4 boats. He's not going to stop. And he's declaring war without Congress. Okay? There has been no declaration of war. Just so everyone knows that. That's the same one. Democrats question not being briefed on attack against Venezuelan vessels, by the way, at this point. It's concerning. No.
No, it isn't. It's not concerning.
It's a war crime. It's a war crime.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's more Kelly.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, here we go. Why? Stop it. What is that? Stop it. Go away. All right. There we go. Russia condemns U.S. strike on alleged drug vessel, right? Then, hours later, Trump says, yeah. Then they turn around and say that it was okay. Just so you know. I don't know where that article went, but it's not legal. A lawyer weighs in, it's not legal. But my point there was Russia said it was not okay, and then they turned around and said it was okay.
Because Russia's another fucking...
Yeah.
I can't even take that seriously.
Okay. So now, I don't know why, but the sources are starting to I put so much information in here, the things are starting to go. But I'm gonna,
Just
I'm
share a
not
few
gonna
of them.
screen
We don't
share.
need to share them all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
People know
screen
how to
share
read.
anything.
People can read. You know, it's just called reading. Remember that? Remember how you used to read?
Yeah.
Instead of looking up shit on AI, read. It's a good
So
thing. It's good for your
now
brain.
there was a judge who ordered Trump to withdraw the National Guard troops. He didn't do it, just so you know.
You know, he doesn't have to follow any rules. He's Donald Trump.
Okay, so real quick,
He's Donald Trump, and
uh,
77 million nitwits saw fit to put him back in office. Okay, that's all
I
I can say. All right. You got what you
he is
you got what you bargained for.
yeah, he is violating the Posse Comitatus Act. I want everybody to know that. However, the what do I even call her? The press bimbo,
Oh, watch
Caroline
out for
Levitt.
that word. Watch out.
Yeah, yeah. The press BIMBO,
Yeah, that's good.
BIMBO. There we go.
Bimbo.
So
Bimbo.
she 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 pointed out that Trump is using his power per this thing. Okay. And I'm gonna show this as long as it allows me to. 10 US code 12406, talking about National Guard and federal service. The United States or any commonwealth or possessions is invaded, or this is when he can use the National Guard. When the United States or any of the commonwealths or possessions is invaded or is in danger of invasion by a foreign nation. By the way, he's the invader, by the way. He's attacking Venezuela. He's talking about making Canada the 51st state. Look, I mean, for real, he's not joking about it. There is a rebellion or danger of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States. That's what he's talking about. But he is the danger from within. He is violating every constitutional
None of
thing.
these things apply to what he's
None
doing.
of them.
Not one of them.
The president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States.
None
That
of
may
these
be true.
apply.
They may be true, but not because of external forces. It's because of his own lack of intelligence, to be honest with you. Bringing generals from all around the world for a alpha male circle jerk. Let's just be
They could
honest
have,
about
you
it.
know, they look at Jeffrey Tubin. They could have done an alpha male circle jerk over Zoom. They didn't need to bring everybody to the United States.
Right. So there's a lot of articles here asking if it's legal. Um, Here's the thing, and again, I apologize. I'm just going to take the sources down at this point. So J.B. Pritzker is called for you know uh, put the 25th Amendment in question or put it out there to impeach Trump. Is it going to happen right now? Probably not, because we just don't have enough people from the Republican Party that have the political will or the guts or whatever, the the brains to get our country back and get rid. They already have everything. They don't need Trump in power. They can take him out, but they're not going to do it.
So, therefore, let me say it again. The American people have the power to eliminate the GOP from power. Okay? Because the
Right.
problem isn't just Trump. The problem is the entire party, the whole party, the whole party.
Right.
They're gone. They're finished.
I
They're not a
want
party.
I want everyone to understand this, and this is kind of the meat and potatoes of what kind of went haywire as I was trying to go through the sources. City after city after city. We understand that DC, he has specific powers in DC, which he didn't use when there was a real insurrection because
He
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 was
was the
for
leader.
that. He was the
He
leader
caused
of
it.
it. Right. So the one time that he could have used it legitimately, he didn't. He's used his power to call up the National Guard in Washington, D.C., in L.A., in Portland, and in Chicago.
And do you know what there were pictures of the National Guard doing in DC?
I
Cleaning
do.
parks.
Yeah.
Cleaning parks. Little, you know, those little pointy things that you stick in the ground and pick the dirt up with? That's what they were doing in DC. Because why? Because he got rid of half of the freaking park service. That's why. Okay? That's what he's spending America's military money on. Using the National Guard to clean up the parks. Because there is nothing going on in American cities that warrants any of this bullshit. Period.
He's trying to use immigrants as a talking point or as the imminent threat. It isn't an imminent threat. Now, if you want to enforce if you legitimately want to do drug enforcement,
Start with the
okay,
White House.
right.
Start with the White House. You want to
The-
do drug enforcement? Start with the White House. I'm
so
sorry.
you're saying that drugs are an imminent threat, yet you just elevated a pill pusher in Ronnie Jackson. You reinstated his rear admiral status, which, by the way, serves nothing but to give him his retirement back. That's it. So they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. They're talking about, a government efficiency when they're spending an obscene amount of money on stuff. Oh, the other thing, Donald Trump talked about building the 51st state or telling Canada, just come over to us and I will stop the tariffs. There is someone who is like Midas touch Canada. He was someone inside of the Canadian government that is speaking against this, that is saying that this is illegal.
It's illegal, but the Canadian people don't want to be a 51st state. They don't
No,
have to be a 51st state. Okay? You know what? Let me just say this. If he tries to invade Canada, he's doing exactly what Russia did with the Ukraine. That's what he's doing.
right.
Period. Why would anybody want to be a state here now? Explain that to me. Get the fuck out of here. I can think of at least, oh, I don't know, 30 some odd states that would like to get the fuck out of here right now. Okay?
Right. And we we all have to push back on any
Canada,
action.
the
Canada.
51st state.
the
That's not Evan. That's not even,
state,
that's
the
a
50
joke.
the 52nd state is delusion.
Yeah.
The key of this
No,
is
that's the first state.
right. The the lack of due process, the lack of investigation, just saying these guys are drug dealers. These guys are illegal. These guys, this is your problem here. Again, we're going back to fascism. And yes, we talk about there are other fascist leaders out there. Somebody say, "Oh, he's not Hitler. He's Francisco Franco. He's Mussolini." It
Oh,
doesn't
so
matter.
take your
He's
pick. Why don't we
fascist.
just roll
Take
them
your
all
pick.
together and call them Donald Trump, okay? Then let's
Yes,
just stop the nonsense, okay? Now we're going to quibble. We're going to argue over which fascist he's most like, okay? Cut the shit, folks, all right? Can we cut the
and
shit now?
in the meantime,
Jesus Christ.
we are taking ourselves out of the international and trade discussion. We are not a viable partner right now. We aren't because Trump is talking about invading half of the world.
You know, I'm sorry, but we're like toddlers here. Leave it
Yes.
to us to argue over what fascist he's most like. I mean, honest to God, people, what is going on here that you can't see? Jesus H. Christ on a goddamn pogo stick. Wake up.
I, lo- I love poking the Deb. I love poking you with that. But
I'm sorry, but holy hell. I don't know. I'm supposed to be on vacation this week. My fucking blood pressure's got to be up around 500 right now. Just, God damn it.
sorry, Deb, Russia says it's okay. Russia
Yeah.
says blowing up the ships are okay. They thought it wasn't okay, but now I gotta get you that. But I'm like, what do we
Why don't we
not
start a
get?
TV show called Name That Fascist? Why don't we do that? Why don't we start a TV show? We'll do that. That's something the American people will be able to get into. More it ain't shit. Let's just pretend nothing's going on here, okay? It's like
Epic rap battles of the fascist. It's like and again, please, okay. Again, I know it's not a big it's a big deal actually. Bad Bunny, okay? My God. Right now he's like the biggest selling musician. So the Super Bowl people got him. Trump's talking about arresting him for not singing in English. My God. I mean, it's funny, but it's not
Funny Bunny. Why don't we just call him Funny Bunny instead?
right.
Just fucking come on, people. Does this come here? What is that sound normal to any of you out there? Does any of this that's been going on for the past, I don't know, this is only
10 years?
7 months. We've
Yeah.
only had this asshole for 7 months. Does anything he has done look remotely normal to any of you? Because if it does, you need help. You need
So
serious help.
he's pissed off the people of Panama, Puerto Rico, uh, Greenland, Denmark. Um, he's pissed off China. He's pissed off uh he's pissed off Canada. How do you piss off Canada? I mean, my God, this isn't a joke anymore. We used to joke decades ago about invading Canada because it was so ludicrous. Now he's talking, and Carney, the new prime minister, is coming to the United States
Lucky him,
to
because guess what? None of the tourists are. I can tell you that. He might as well come and visit because the people that come from Canada go to Maine and all that stuff. None of those people coming here anymore. They're
oh
done.
yeah, they're like on the side roads in Canada. They're like, "F you, we're not American," blah blah blah. I
Nope.
mean, yeah. So he's talking to Trump about the tariffs. Okay. And Trump's response is going to be, "Why don't you just join us?"
Of course.
No.
Yes. I'll stop it if
Yeah.
we just become a 52nd, 51st state. Oh, I'll stop that. Yes. And then you can join us and ruin everybody's life in Canada. Take away all their, I don't know, universal health care.
Right.
And then destroy everything about Canada that's beautiful. Because Donald Trump wants to sell off all the national parks so they can be developed. And then we can just get rid of all the environmental laws in Canada. Because yeah,
Right.
everybody wants that in Canada. They
And we
want to
do have,
destroy,
yeah,
get the actual fuck out of here, okay?
I'm sure the black tar areas in Canada that are polluted, that makes Trump salivate because he's like, oh, well,
Oh,
there are
good. Then
parts of
let's just
Canada
cut
that
that
don't
part of Canada off
just
and
give it to Trump.
give it to
Yeah,
Trump. He'll like that. That'll be enough.
exactly. You're like, we won. We got our territory with a
Fucking
big black tar swamp.
such a piece of shit. I can't even understand how the holy hell did this guy get in? It's just I on my mind. I can't. I wake up every day and I say, "Am I really here?" Is he really in the fucking White House? And yes, he
Yeah,
is. Every day he's there.
yeah. The way to fight this is push the 25th Amendment. And by the way, this is not I've heard this too. This is not a ploy for J.B. Pritzker to become president. Whoever becomes president becomes president. Hell, we were trying to get a president
How is
in
J.B.
before.
Pritzker going to become president? He's not even on the list. He has to run to become president, idiot
Right.
face. Okay? Whatever idiot is starting that, get the hell out of here. Okay?
Maybe he runs, but can we get through the day first? God knows what he's going to do.
Can we worry about the midterms? Can we not worry about 2028?
Can we
Everyone?
worry? Can we worry about the National Guard? Can
Can
we
we?
worry about
I can't.
can we worry about getting, health care at least somewhat sustainable and affordable to the point where people aren't going to die? I the bottom line is people are going to die here.
Yeah, they
People have
are.
already died. Okay, people have already died.
Before this shutdown, all right, before all of this, it was already estimated with the big, beautiful bill that 50,000 people a year were going to die that didn't need to die. Before all of this mess here, we're just going to add to the numbers here. Okay, and it could be you. So understand that. When your
Also,
premium goes up 75%, don't come whining. Don't come whining if you're not going to stand up. Don't come whining.
also understand that Trump, without evidence that those four ships, by the way, each one of those ships, people died on.
I think
Those
the first
four,
one was 11 people, right?
11 people. Right. He's a murderer.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. And he should be convicted of war crimes if it is shown that these were not imminent threats. You want to detain those
These
people,
people,
send
for
them
the
away?
most part, are fishermen. Okay?
Right. So you are terrorizing international waters around Venezuela. You are literally uh, declaring war on the
You know,
Caribbean because of
if you
drug
knew that
trade.
if you knew that they had drugs on those ships, the American military could surround that boat, board it, and show evidence that there's drugs on that ship. But they're not doing that. They're blowing those motherfuckers out of the water, okay? And they're killing people because there isn't any evidence to show. All right? He's got a burr on his ass about Venezuela now. All right? That's what it is. It was the
Right.
Mexican border, it was Canada. Now it's Venezuela. Somebody
Right.
must have pissed him off. Did what happened? Did a liberal
Maduro
win?
or yeah.
Yeah, a
No.
liberal one.
No, it's still, I believe it's still Maduro's in there. But
Whatever.
something's going on, whatever. It's something political. Please listen. Okay, so you have drugs on a ship. Whatever happened to boarding that ship, confiscating the drugs, and sending them away,
That's
or
what I just
detaining
said.
them if they're in American waters? They weren't even in American waters. So you board a ship, take the drugs, and destroy the drugs. Show the drugs, and then there you go. But as Deb said, all potential evidence that could be shown has been destroyed. And all you see is the show of force that he has shown. Four ships so far, over a dozen people killed. That's murder. If there wasn't an imminent threat. And it's a small fishing boat with four people on it. They had no weapons. They weren't invading the United States with weapons. So any of that with that code that Caroline Levitt said, that's horse crap. Okay. Oh, and is actually about the domestic uh occupation of cities. And there is no evidence of anything going on there. And we've had riots before. We had the Watts riots. We had the Rodney King riots. Okay. Deb, the National Guard were deployed during the Rodney King thing, correct? I believe it was.
I think so.
But that is an example of when you do that.
Do you have this
By the way,
article? Do you have this article from The Guardian in there? That Trump doesn't know
uh,
what the hell he's doing with Venezuela?
no,
Okay, well,
add it.
I'll add it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, uh, yeah, well, okay. It is because Maduro's too liberal.
Okay. Maduro.
Yeah, they wanted to John Bolton and Trump wanted to replace Maduro in 2019. That was the plan. That didn't work, apparently. But, right here, I mean, most of the drugs coming into the United States are from Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador, not Venezuela.
Right.
So let's stop, everyone, okay? They call Maduro hard left. That's what they're calling Maduro. Hard
Okay.
left. Just so everybody understands this.
And again, confiscate the drugs.
Show us. Prove it.
Show us.
Oh, wait, that's due process. Wait, we don't have that anymore here. I forgot.
Right.
Silly me. What the fuck?
That is the key to all of this is due process. Show the evidence. Remember, those of you old enough to remember the weapons of mass destruction that never existed.
Yeah, the portable biolabs. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. That to me right now is almost insignificant.
Right.
Honestly, with what's going on here.
This is supercharged.
This is insane. This is insanity. Okay?
Trump is not a king. No kings. Do not be intimidated by any of this. Get out there on the street if you can possibly do so. I understand those who cannot physically, but if you can get out there, show your presence. We need to show a huge presence here and show that this movement has not died out.
This needs to be bigger than the first No Kings. And the first No Kings was massive. It needs to be bigger. It's already projected to be bigger, but we need to be on the streets. End of story.
And that's what we got.
Okay, gang.
And by the way, the evidence is all here. I'm not playing a game. The thing was just, like reeling
too
because
slow.
I
We
had
could be
so
on here
much.
for
It was
hours.
going too slow. Yeah.
Y'all know how to read. All of
it'll be there.
All the backup will be under the description like it always is. You don't need us to read to you. I think you can handle that, although maybe not. I don't know. All right. We'll see you next week.